with us. So thank you so much.
Of course, it's gonna be a vibe. I'm excited.
Yes, we are excited too.
Likewise.
Yes.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
Y'all are just so cute. I just have to say that again. Y'all are just so adorable.
Oh, thank you. But I'm sure you get that all the time. So.
Oh, it's life.
So for those who do not know, can you tell us who is Chardelle Moore?
Ooh, good question, Queen. I would say Chardelle Moore is a multidisciplinary spirit. I am a woman of passion. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I am the CEO and founder of Motivational Moore, a multimedia and communications company elevating human consciousness. I am a serial creative. I love to produce content, conscious, driven, inspirational content on multiple platforms. I'm an award-winning television anchor, motivational speaker, poet, dancer. I'm getting into acting, but overall, to be honest, I am a person who loves life and loves, just seeing who I can become on this journey and really surrendering to that process of my higher self.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And your body of work consists of you inspiring, empowering, awakening, and
Mhm.
motivating others to believe in their inner self and follow their spiritual path and
Yes.
what they are led to do in life. What inspired this conscious body of work?
My soul journey. Like, it has been definitely a journey to just look within yourself and to really discover who you are. And I believe it's an ever evolving journey. I don't think your soul journey like stops at a certain age. You keep evolving. And the more you look within yourself, the more clear you become. And it takes a lot of courage to go within. It really does, to really ask yourself, like, what do I really want to do in this path, in this realm while I'm here? What am I passionate about? How do I want to impact the world? So it's literally like an inner awakening that has inspired me to really empower others. But to be honest, King, I've always had that like gift since I was little, just to like empower, to motivate, and to create. So I just feel like I'm just being called on my divine path and to follow that with courage, because it's not easy.
Definitely, that's
It's
great.
not in 1,000.
I understand. And you mentioned earlier, you was a award TV news anchor,
Yeah.
and you basically stepped out on faith. You was at Fox 45 Baltimore, and
Yep.
you began the talk show on there, Be More Lifestyle.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
after that, when you left that position,
Mhm.
uh, uh, you received multiple awards, host many engagement. Did you
Mhm.
ever see yourself having this much success, taking this leap of faith?
To be honest, yes, to be honest, because it's like, I feel like everyone can feel things before they happen if you just really like look within yourself, to be honest. And, I just knew it was time to leave. And that's the thing about in our journey of life, everything is chapters, you know what I'm saying? And when it's time to make that jump, and making a jump is never easy. To walk out on faith and say, this is what I want to do. I'm going to leave my comfort job to start my own multimedia communications company aimed to elevate the human consciousness, which is totally different. But it's something that I knew deep down. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that is very important for all of us. I believe that we all have divine gifts. And if we're willing to trust the process, and the process is never easy, but it's worth it, it is amazing what we can do. And that also requires you to have your own sense of success and what you define success, because the outside world will tell you A, B, C, and D. But if your inner voice and you're connected with yourself and your creator is telling you this is the path that you should go on, and it makes you happy, who am I to not trust that? And that takes courage, but it's really important. But I already saw that transition that was going to happen.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I know you some people would have said, I'm not leaving. I'm
Yeah.
being viewed in front of millions of people in this huge city, but you left. Did you ever feel like, any regrets, or like look back like,
Now,
oh man, I should have stayed? Or Yeah.
Never. Now, let me tell you one thing though, entrepreneurship is not easy. You know, some days you're like, whoa, yay! And then the other days you're like, yo, when the money's gonna come in, you know? But it's the journey. It is the journey. And that's why you have to love the process. And you have to really surrender to that process and have something bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like, by me walking in my path and empowering others to do the same, that energy that I can feel. And what happens is you connect with like-minded people like you guys, because we're on the similar, you know, frequencies that are into these things, you know? So it's one of those things that I realized no matter where you are in life, it has a duality. It does not matter. You know, it's part of the human experience, but you have to really ask yourself, what do you really want? And only you can define that. So I made the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on your journey and following your path. What is that emotion or feeling like when you see your work come to light and changing people's lives?
Ooh, nothing like creating. Nothing like creating original works. You know what I mean? Like getting hired to, you know, do stuff for clients and stuff is great too, because that's part of the services that we provide with Motivational Moore. But something about creating my art, like my own art. And then when you hear people or they reach out to you and say, you know, your words inspired me, your song, your poem, there's no feeling like it. And that's something that I just want to continue to do my works on multiple platforms. So music, documentaries, films, events, experiences. I believe in the importance of art. Like, I feel like art is so beyond powerful. And the great thing about art, to be honest, there's no rules, but it takes, you know, the creator with, you know, within yourself to say, okay, I'm going to push my art out there, because Queen, I'm telling you, to create Inward Awakening, it took so much mental courage to do that, because my art is so different. So it's like, you know, creating builds you. It strengthens something inside of your spirit, and you realize, you know what, even if one person listens to my song, I'm okay with that, because it's bigger than that. I am doing this for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing this also for legacy, because if one person is inspired by my words and it can encourage them to keep going, then I have done my job. So allowing myself to define my success on my own terms is really important. And after I finish Inward Awakening, now I'm in the film part. So I'm going to literally drop a music video for every single song. And that is a process in itself. You know, it's like when you keep creating, it's like, oh my goodness. And it's just like your creativity just starts to expand. But I really encourage like all creatives, whatever your medium of expression is, you know, use your gifts. God gave you these gifts for a reason. And it is so imperative for you to create from your soul, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's soul expression of your inner truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep,
and that's true. Yeah. And speaking of Inward Awakening, the last conversation that we had, I just asked you about like every song we talked about.
Oh yeah, we went in, bro.
Yeah, the energy of the background of all of them was like, you know, was so powerful. And I see you doing the tours, you performing. I go to Instagram, you always have your happy dance. No one tell you nothing about that. And so what has the experience been like with this project?
Oh my goodness, no words when you're creating and like you put out an album, because the thing about life, you never know where it's going to take you. I had no idea. If somebody told me like 5 years ago you would do an album, I would be like, you're joking. It wouldn't have even crossed my mind. But I've always loved music because I love to dance. Like that's like my passion, dancing. I dance every single day. I've been doing that for years. Even when I was a TV anchor, I had a TV. I didn't have Netflix or cable. Like literally I never watched TV, you know? So it's so funny that like I worked in that industry, but I was like always in my own world with like creativity and, you know, personal development and spirituality. I loved those like worlds. And I'm like, I want to create a medium of expression to intersect, you know, the poetry, the dance, the music. And it has been a journey. It has been life-changing. I'm so thankful for the experience. And I'm grateful to God for allowing me to surrender and I have to, touch base on this with the viewers, the kings and the queens who are watching this. You have to be willing to surrender to your highest self and realize that it is a process. You know what I mean? And have compassion with yourself through that process. Because inward awakening, literally, I had an inward awakening. I'm still having an inward awakening by creating this project, because I'm going to the film aspect of it. But it has been monumental, not easy, but so worth it. So worth it. It's like I'm growing every single day.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And you want to take the next one?
Sure.
Okay,
So there are people who are doing and making and changing their false reality in journeys, and they never seem to be happy or satisfied. However, I can tell that you have found your inner self and your happiness. So can you explain to us what's that feel like for you, and what has that experience been like?
Profound question. Queen, what I have realized in this journey of life is that happiness is found within. I don't think anything external can really give you fulfillment. That it can only go so far. Inner peace is something you have to find within yourself. And the great thing about that, as much as our society is like to chase these things, you know what I mean? If you find inner peace, it really doesn't matter what you're doing, because you can bring your own personal joy to it, right? Because the thing about a gift, you can use your gift anywhere. So I realized I have a gift of, inspiration and positivity. So it doesn't really matter what medium of expression I do, because I'm operating in my gifts. But that allows me to, well, first and foremost, the happiness has to begin within yourself. So no matter where you are in life, it's great to keep achieving things, which is awesome because it's part of growth, but realize that none of these things truly define you. You have to be willing to be whole within yourself. And when you establish that for yourself, it makes the journey of life so much easier. And practicing gratitude, I give thanks for the simple things in life. Simple things, because the simple things are the most profound. It's like I can even tell with you two, you guys have this strong, beautiful bond. There's people that wish they had that. They can buy anything. They don't have love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like understanding the vehicles, the beauty that you already have, instead of looking outward to try to find it. Gratitude is essential when it comes to higher sense of consciousness, because it makes you realize the importance of what you have, and that everything that you need is already within. And when you're able to connect with people who are like-minded, it's even more beautiful. But it has to start within. Nobody can give it to you. You have to dig within yourself to find it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's deep.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
And before I ask this question, I'm going to ask you, because you mentioned finding your higher self.
Yes.
I notice a lot of people, they rather just give up, because it does take a lot of work. Would you like to elaborate on that? Because it could be so. It could be you on this life journey. Sometimes you want to give up. Sometimes you may cry, but when you get over that hump, it's like a beautiful side. And some people miss out on that because they never want to work get over that point.
Excellent. I say life is like nature, right? In order for anything to grow, it needs storms. So nobody, no matter who we are, is exempt from the human experience. This is just reality. We're all going to face things in this journey of life, but we have a choice to either give up or keep going. Now, the great thing about a storm is that through the storms, even though the storm's going through it, you feel like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to, overcome this, right? But when you're able to overcome it, you realize the power of courage. And courage is so important in this journey of life. So it's like, even though the storms were, when you're going through the storms, you think it's like the end of the world. At the end of the day, they were meant to make you stronger. Yeah, that's true. And everyone is going to go through storms. It's part of life, but you have to keep going. And that's why you have to develop radical, and I say the word radical self-belief. I'm telling you, I can't, one day I'm going to make a film about my life. I'm telling you, everything that I've tried to go for, there was always someone who told me I couldn't do it. They always thought like, oh my gosh, you're so into these things, boom, boom, boom. And I just always had faith in myself. It was like, God will always tell me you can do it. And I'm going to be honest, King, there was times I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. And then I like snap back and it's like the ancestors, God is like, okay, no. Know what you carry. No, you can't listen to them, and that's the problem. We get so consumed. We get so consumed about the thoughts of other people. You know what I'm saying? Or because of our own personal experiences or A, B, and C, and D. But we have to understand the number one thing that we come from a higher source. So if there's something that you want to do, you can do it. You can do it. And sometimes it might not even happen in your lifetime, but you started the seed. Right? So regardless, that energy is there. So it's going to grow because that energy, somebody else is going to pick it up, whether it's like a family member, whether it's somebody that you inspired, because it's like everything that we put out, it has an effect. So our life is even bigger than our own lives. So that's why I tell people walk in your purpose, because you don't know where that energy is going to lead. So you have to be willing to be bold enough to walk in your authentic light.
Right.
It's going to do. Your interests are going to change. It's natural. Mm-hmm. Think about times you were so into ABC and you're like, oh my gosh, you remember that time? Mm-hmm. It's natural, So that's why you have to have self-compassion and say, okay, in this journey where I am right now, what am I into? Every single day I ask myself questions. How does this make me feel? Okay, do I like this? Boom, boom, boom. Because it's about getting to know yourself, because the clearer you are, the more direction you have. And direction is more important than speed. You can be going quickly, boom, 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 but that's not your calling. Instead of taking those steps one by one to where you really want to go in this journey of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So you just spoke of the storm, Chardelle. So what expression or quotes do you live by to help you get through those particular storms?
Woo! Bringing in the vibe. My favorite quote of all times is the joys in the journey. The joys in the journey. Because even when I'm going through the storms of life, I'm like, I have to, start thinking positive. The joys in the journey. This is a journey. This is not the final destination. This is a journey. And having that type of mindset, realizing that life is a journey and make the joy out of it, even through the hardships, has really helped me to become the woman that I am today. Because it has trained my mind to think positive when those situations arise and realize that that storm is not going to last. Sunshine will be there. Find your joy in your journey, Char, and keep going.
Yeah. And along that journey, was it people to help you on your way with your on your spiritual path? Was it information you had to read? How did you tap into that within your inner self?
My goodness. A lot of self-reflection. A lot of going within myself, even looking at things at like different books and stuff, and like having a spiritual community. You're just drawn to people, like you can't even explain it, like people that I've met, whether it's like in a coffee shop or online, and then we just became like really cool. But I would also say the deepest thing is like going within. And it's like, once you have embarked on that path, you know what it's like. There's literally no words to describe it. It's like you go within yourself and it's like you open up yourself, you know what I mean? And you start to really like look at life in a different perspective and ask yourself what is really important. And it's interesting because when you start to embark on that journey, when you surrender to that journey, naturally things are going to come to you. Answers, people, opportunities, questions. So because it's energy. At the end of the day, everything is just energy. So if you surround yourself with positive people, you're going to get positive stuff. If you're on a conscious journey, you know, you're going to surround yourself with conscious people. You know what I mean? And consciousness is also, you know, there's like a whole thing about consciousness, you know, what is it? Boom, boom, boom. But it's so hard to describe when it, you know, but I think honestly, when it boils down to, it's like, what's right? You know, what is right? And everybody defines that differently, but it's like, it's like a spiritual soul thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we can identify things in our own, you know, perceptions of truth. But I feel like when you put spirituality into it, you kind of know, like, okay, this is what I, you know, there's literally no words for that, but really just, but it has been, you know, people, self-reflection, looking within myself and just really going inward.
That's great. And do you have any words of encouragement for the individuals who's afraid to step out on that, to have that leap of faith or make that change in their life to be a better individual?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. Everything you need is already within you. You come from God, the highest source. Realize that your path is only your path, meaning you can never compare your path to anybody else. We're all different. We're all unique. And you have a divine gift, and you have to surrender to that gift and have self-compassion when it comes to that journey. Because even with myself, a lot of times I might be too hard on myself, and I realize, no, I can't have that. Because just like a 4-year-old, when, you know, a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, they're at two different mental states. You know, we might be at a different mental state at the end of this conversation. So the level of awareness that you have at the time is all you know at the time. You know what I mean? And sometimes we beat ourselves up, or we're like, oh my gosh, we should be this far, or this. No, just surrender to your highest truth. Your journey is your journey. We have too much comparisons in this journey of life, you know? And when you define success on your own terms, that's what's really important. And use your gifts to make this world a better place, whether it's, you know, volunteering in your community, creating art, do whatever it is, do something that's going to leave a lasting impact on another individual. Then you've won. What more can you do when you are vibrating in your highest truth and you are doing what you can, because we all have different things that we do to make this world a better place. You've lived a fulfilling life.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to add before closing?
I would say I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are doing. And thank you. Thank you for believing in me. I'm getting emotional. Oh my God, I hate that about myself. But thank you for believing in me. Like, you know, oh my goodness. Oh gosh. I'm such a crybaby. But you know, I didn't know that I was going to be on the cover, you know? And when I saw that, I was thankful. I was thankful, and I really appreciated it, you know, because it's like, whew.
Yeah, we know, we get it.
Yeah.
It's a connection. We here Southside Chicago, you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And somehow I was like blown away too myself when you said you just typed in the name one day, we popped up. And
yeah.
Like just to hear that shows you our body of work and us doing what we need to do, you know, far as our calling. And so we connected, and your spirit has been like phenomenal with ours.
Thank you. And I'm so fortunate, and I'm so blessed to have connected with you guys. And keep up the good work. Keep going. Just keep going, because what you guys are doing is legacy. Nothing beats legacy. Always remember that in your journey. Nothing beats value, you know, and creating works of substance that impacts the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit. So profound. So keep up the excellent work. And thank you so much for using your guys' gifts, because it's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You
You do the same too, most definitely.
Woo! Woo! He got me crying here. Wowzers. Okay.
We human, so we get it. And people need to see that, to know that we real people.
No, facts. Yeah.
We got to continue to set an example and inspire people. You know, we real too. You know, stuff happens in our lives. Stuff is uncontrollable.
Real talk.
We just keep doing what we do. You know, so
yes.
We thank you as well, and glad that we cross paths. And
yes,
thank you.
Okay.